Hello, everyone. My name is Kirti Diwan, and I speak to you from India, from the wonderful city of Hyderabad today. I am currently a skilling and capability lead at Google. I help people learn and grow in their careers. At the same time, I'm myself a research student. When I'm not working or studying, I am an evangelist of women's diversity, education, and well being at Speak Frizzy as a digital creator. I'm really excited to be here today on this virtual but such a real stage and participate in the Relearn Festival, which is all about innovation and learning. And what a joy, such a great global passionate community of speakers and listeners coming together. My talk, Learn with a Latte, Not with a Blackboard, focuses on why and how we can reimagine learning, online learning, and remote learning in particular, which seems to have become the only way to learn of late. So let's get started, shall we? This year has been quite the year, hasn't it? From wildfires to protests to flooding to a pandemic. Who knew humanity would be facing all this at once? We may refer to this year as a year of the health crisis, an environmental crisis, a climate crisis, an economic crisis, and more. But in hindsight, if I look back, I did realize that what it really is also a very big education crisis. 1 billion learners affected by school closures. Yes, 1 billion. That's huge. And I don't think we were prepared as the world to take on this challenge of learning online and remotely for all types of learning, from early education to lifelong learning. And that's why, I started thinking of so many questions. Do we really need to sit together in a room to learn and learn effectively? Or do we learn better by doing the learning in the flow of our work, be it walking, be it cooking, or, just sipping a hot cup of latte on our couch? Of course, there are no easy answers to any of these questions. And that's why we are all here today on what and how can we learn better given the constraints we have and the opportunities that lie in front of us. Education spans lifelong, from early education to continuous education on the job towards the future of work and skills, which is going to completely change by 2030, and now to even elderly education with increasing lifespans and aging populations. Therefore, the reality is education cannot always be in a classroom with a blackboard in front of us. With the education crisis driven by this pandemic, we are catapulted into a future of remote and online learning for all types of learning, which begins from childhood. If you have your hot cup of latte with you, I would love for us to reimagine online and remote learning with three stories. The reason why I want us to talk through these stories is because I hope you can connect with the learner in each of these stories and rethink what online learning can mean to fit the needs of these unique but very, very similar learners. So, here we are, and I'm excited to start my stories. My first story is about Neha. Neha is a third grader who lives with a hearing disability. Her parents are daily age earners in a small town in India and are able to afford to send her to school, which is a local public government school nearby. But the school barely has enough teachers and just enough funds and space to run the school. Ideally, Neha could be studying in a school for special needs, but there isn't one nearby, and her mother feels it's better for Neha to get some education than none at all. Each day Neha goes to school, but she's not sure if she learns. The class is 80 students with one teacher. She is also one of the three students who are hard of hearing. The teachers teach in the local language, which definitely makes it easier for her to lip read and learn. And of course, there is the textbooks to read and learn as well. But the harsh truth is, she cannot hear like everyone else while she is in the classroom. Surrounding chatter and noise is too high, too loud, and the teacher's voice is too low or sometimes not audible at all. And that means she does attend school, but she doesn't learn. Neha's dream is to become an astronomy teacher someday herself, but she doesn't know how she will get there if she cannot understand what the teacher is saying while she is growing up. Now imagine this. If we were to bring home to Neha an experiential learning of being in an observatory using augmented reality, virtual reality, enabling closed captioning and sign language for her to pursue her dream, wouldn't that be fantastic? I'm moving on to my second story now. My second story is about Tina. Tina is a smart, young, educated woman and an entrepreneur in the retail space. She lives in a large city bustling with businesses. Before COVID 19, Tina's business was almost entirely offline, and her boutique had regular walk in customers in young women who had an eye for homemade jute accessories. Jute tote bags were her bestseller, and while she had tried to set up an Amazon store in the past for online sales, e commerce was always a good to have, not a must have. During the pandemic, her store sales took a hit. E commerce boomed and became a must have to survive. She doesn't have the time to go back to school, but needs to learn the trick of online trade and learn it really, really fast. If she doesn't, she will have to shut down her business and look for a job in a call center, which is what she was doing previously before she became a successful entrepreneur in her own means. Now, this call center job will require her to work in shifts, sometimes late night or even through the night. And that is compromising her safety as a woman in a large city. Her father probably would want her to stop working and get married. Now imagine if we were to bring Tina a real time social learning approach where she can regularly get inputs from a large community of mentors and a network that she can lean on to help her transition her business from offline to online. And the reason why I say is real time is because completing a course or going into a classroom and walking back in is not going to help Tina. What she really needs is real time support from her network in learning. Every time she's faced with a challenge of her website not working well or not enough conversions on the page, she would love to ask someone. And can we be that someone as a community of people who are good at digital and online sales with our own businesses to help her out? How can we change learning and online learning to become a community led social movement? We don't know that today. And I think there is an opportunity there. My third story is about Radha. Radha is a retired doctor. She's old, she's nearing 70. Her husband is a high flying management consultant who hasn't retired yet. And her children are all grown up and well settled outside of India. She has plenty of money and time, so those are not constraints for her. She isn't really looking for a livelihood, but she does want to do something about, her loneliness of being alone at home all day, having too much time. And then, of course, since she has been a doctor, she is still very, very passionate about giving back to the community. So now Radha is considering coaching on wellness and nutrition given the increase in lifestyle diseases in the country. She would love to sign up for an in person school for the elderly because she isn't exactly tech savvy. She has never really used the laptop to type or to do anything really. However, elderly in person schools or any type of elderly school, even online, is really non existent where she lives. So now imagine if we were to bring to Radha a personalized streaming experience where it is as simple as watching TV with the remote and that she's comfortable with. She watches plenty of TV. So why not bring learning to her in that mechanism, what she's already used to? We don't want her to go through hell learning to type at this age and then, not be happy with the learning experience. Instead, we bring her learning through the mechanism that she loves, which could, of course, then be followed up with some simulations like we have in video games for coaching. And that just completes her coaching certification while sitting on the couch in the comfort of her home and with the pace that she needs. The biggest plus, she doesn't need to learn how to type at this age on the laptop. So, yes, so I think what we talked about in these three stories, and I'll repeat them. Neha, who is a third grader with a hearing disability. And what we are saying is there is an opportunity for somebody like her to receive learning in the format of augmented virtual reality. For Tina, who is looking for a continuous on the job education, we are saying there is an opportunity to bring to her real time social learning where she has a huge support from her network. And for Radha, we are saying let's bring to her a learning in the format of a personalized streaming experience with some simulation. So, what's common about each of these stories? Each story is about a woman, yes, in India. No matter what age, ability, or situation she is in, she wants to learn. That is the commonality. As a community of educators, innovators, policymakers, and learners ourselves, I want us to support what these women want. Today, I want us to dream and reimagine what remote learning and online learning can do for these three women. And not just these three, many, many more. At the end of the day, I am a realist and I'm aware there are barriers, especially in developing countries with a very, very real digital divide. I mean, there is no way we can dismiss or deny that at this point. Access to technology and its affordability is a problem, along with educator capability to adopt and deliver through technology sometimes. But if for a minute we allow ourselves to look past these barriers, because with barriers we cannot reinvent, innovate, or reimagine, I am confident we'll come to a point where we have looked past these barriers and we are in a situation where all of this can really happen. But we need to start thinking now. Only then will we see the potential for a paradigm shift in online education. We can truly reimagine remote online learning and education beyond these barriers and towards optimism of delivering high quality, consistent, equitable, and inclusive learning for all. And what I mean by that is learning for all abilities, for all age groups, no matter what they need, from where they need. They should be able to learn from anywhere in a format that they are able to consume given their constraints or opportunities. Online and remote learning is actually the only way we can overcome barriers in enabling people of all abilities and all age groups. And that is the most critical need of our learners as humans. Learning, at the end of the day, is to address their unique learning needs. So, online learning, that is experiential, real time, social, and personalized, is what will enable learning with a latte and not with a blackboard. Thank you so much once again for spending the time and listening to me and my thoughts. I would love to hear some questions from you and look forward to answering them. Thanks once again. Take care and goodbye.